Hello again, friends and loyal Wolfpack members. Chaos Wolf here, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Anaconda ship kit. Now, I've had to go and loan the use of one of the Wolfpack's accounts because I don't currently have an Anaconda on my own account anymore. I went and sold it in order to get myself a Corvette. So here we are. We've got this. We've got one of the Wolfpack's Anacondas here. So we're going to go and have a look and see just what it looks like with the ship kits. Now, as you can see, this is going to be another one of the 16-piece ship kits. And we'll start off, as always, with the spoilers. And a lot of you guys have been saying that you want me to activate the third-person camera a lot more to have a look at these pieces. But let's have a look first, and we have the first spoiler here. Oh, that's not too bad. That looks like it's just an extension over the top of these two fins going over the top. So that's kind of interesting. So let's actually go and apply that one and have a look from the front. So as you can see there, it just goes over the top. It follows the same kind of lines as the cockpit itself, just further back, and it's just a spoiler going over, so that's interesting. The next one is going to be this one, which it looks more like a powerboat to me. So there we go. You can see it there and there. That's possibly better. Let's actually go and get a bit more of a closer look at this. So here we are. This is the second of the spoilers. And like I said, it just looks like one of those like motorboat kind of aerofoil style fins that they've got on the back of certain speedboats. So again, it goes with the lines of the ship fairly well. Not sure what I think about this one overly much, but let's go and have a look at number 3 in the spoilers. Okay, so number 3 is actually just going to be a pair of fins just attached to the top. So that just extends the line up. So there we go, we can see them, and it does just go and continue the line further up. It does seem that the line curves a little bit more further up, becoming a little bit steeper, but it's not bad. In fact, it looks like it's fairly well crafted for this part of the ship. Moving on to number 4. Oh, there we go. Look at that. So applying that one, that's just going to be another 2 fins off at the side. Now, I'm not quite sure what I think of these fins. It doesn't seem like it really follows the lines of the ship at all. So this particular one, I'm not too happy with. In fact, out of all of these, I think I prefer the first. Basically, I think I prefer number 1. So what we're going to go and do is we're going to go and reapply fin number 1 because I do like that one. I think that was actually quite a nice fin. Now we're going to go and have a look at the wings, and let's see what we got. It does appear that these are quite diverse in what we've got. So let's have a look at number 1. So here we go. This is number 1 of the wings, and as you can see, it fills out kind of the little recess in the side of the ship, and even extends it out, so it completely reverses the visual look at the rear end of the ship. So that's actually kind of interesting. And I've got to say, I do like all the detail that's on this one. It seems like Frontier's put a lot of work into this particular kit so far. Moving on to Wings 2, if we have a look here, there we go. We can see that this is completely different. And what it goes and does is actually goes and... So it's no longer at the back, it's actually much further at the front, and it adds an entire different section to the ship. So there's a lot more visual weight up the front. Here we go. So this is the new section that has been added onto the side. It's quite a lot bigger than what it would appear to be from the front. Now, I'm not sure what I think of this particular section. I've got to say, I'm going to have a look and see what it looks like in relation to other parts on the ship. But then, now we're moving over to number 3. And this is again up the back side of the ship, or the rear side of the ship. So, let's go and have a look at the spoiler side. So what we can basically see here is that it extends out from this section, moves up, and even leaves a hole in here. So here we go. This is the third choice on the wings, and this is actually kind of interesting. Again, it's completely changing the way the Anaconda silhouette looks from the top. Although, as you can see as well, it is leaving that void in the middle of the wing, so to speak. This is kind of interesting. I don't know what I think about that void there, really. To be perfectly honest, I think it's going to go and completely mess with my OCD. But yeah, let's go and have a look at the next section here. Now, the next one is the last one, and this is Wing 4. And oh, that adds a number of sections to the ship. So let's go and apply that one. So here we can see a complete look at the Wing 4 to the ship. It again changes completely the silhouette of the ship. It adds a kind of a sleekness to it. More so than it was. It just makes it look like it's gonna go faster. At least that's what it kind of brings to my mind. And again, we've got a lot of detail on these pieces. Now, out of all the wings, I'm kind of torn between them, really. I do think that they all bring something unique to the ship. But for now, we're actually going to go and stick with Wings 4, even though Wings 1 is actually the one that goes with the spoiler that we have. So let's go for Wings 4. Next, we're going to go and have a look at the bumper. And again, we've got a bunch of selections here. We've got bumper 1. And that doesn't seem to add anything to the front of the ship. In fact, it looks like it more adds armor around the cockpit. So let's swap off for that. Yes, it does. It adds 2 sections either side to the cockpit here. So that just looks like it makes this ship so much more heavily armoured. So that's really interesting. Next one on this is Bumper 2. Now, a lot of people seem to be having issues with this one because you can quite clearly tell it's just a bolted on front section. Now, I don't have a problem with this because this reminds me of something, and I suspect this is what it's designed for. This looks like a battering ram or a ram from the front of a ship. Because let's not forget, back in the day, pirate ships, military ships, used to have these big, massive metal rams on the front of their ships to go and ram enemy ships to go and sink them. What they'd do is they'd ram them, hold them in place temporarily whilst they boarded, got all the loot off, got everything back on their own ship, and then they'd just reverse, like back off, sail backwards, and let the ship sink. So I suspect this is something akin to that. It's designed to just maximise the ramming pressure. Just look at how small that point is at the front. So I recommend this is specifically designed to be a pirate style ram. So it kind of makes sense in a way to me. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. The next one looks a little different, and it's another 2 section pieces. Now I suspect this is going to go and apply around the cab again, so let's go and see. No, it doesn't. In fact, this is actually up the front, and just this is 2 additional little wings. So let's go and put that on. And let's have a look from a bit of a lower angle. There we go. So this extends a little further down, actually. So it looks like this kind of extends down besides the observatory window. Because as we can see, it is a bit further down on the side of the ship. As you can see, it's even on a different height to the wing section. So this is really interesting. It does almost look like it's trying to give some form of protection to the observatory deck. So I'm kind of interested in this one. Do I think this would be a little bit better if it was a little higher up? Yeah, perhaps. But it does add an interesting difference to the ship. And as you can see, it actually connects quite well to the hull of the ship. Now, the next one we're going to have a look at is the last one, and this is Bumper 4. And this just seems to be adding some kind of almost like a boomerang shape with some fins attached to it. Now, obviously, this one, as you can see, is the counterpart to the wings that we've got fit on the ship. So we're going to go and apply that one. Again, we're going to have a look at it from a slightly lower angle. As you can see, it goes and extends the hull a little further down so that from this angle we can't actually go and see the viewing deck. And then it extends further around, so this is kind of interesting. It doesn't extend quite as far back as bumper 3, but this is very interesting. And again, we're going to go have a look from the external camera. Now, I know the lighting in here isn't that amazing, but we can see that it doesn't obscure anything from the observatory deck at all. And it just runs along the kind of the underside of the main arm points here. So that's very interesting to see. So it does run lower down than its wings counterpart, but it's not bad. In fact, I'm actually going to go and stick with this one because I do like the way that it kind of follows the lines of the front of the ship. So we're going to go and stick with this one. And again, you can see that it's got a lot of detail in there. Not as much perhaps as the wings themselves, but this is a much smaller piece. So it is kind of nice to see. But anyway, let's move on to the fourth and final section of the ship. So the last section of the ship is going to be the tail section. Again, we've got 4 selections here, and this is the one, the first one here is the one that goes with the spoiler that we have. And it does exactly what I was expecting it to, just fill out this section here. So again, it's completely changing the planned silhouette of the ship. And we've got a lot of nice detail in there as well. So it basically just changes the lines of the ship and extends it out a little bit. So that's kind of interesting. Tail 2 is going and, again, changing the lines of the ship, but nowhere near as dramatically as Tail 1. So we've got 2 little extensions that just extend out the 2 little wings at the back. Now, looking at it at the side, it doesn't seem to follow the armor point top and bottom all that much. It follows the inner section well, but not the cladding on top and bottom. So that's kind of interesting. Now, Tail 3, I expect, is going to be much more of a drastic change. And let's have a look. Oh, no, that's very deceptive. That does look like it's just going to be, like follow the whole thing. In fact, it's basically just Tail 2 even, with a little extension and something going down the middle to actually attach it to the main body of the ship. So that's interesting, and it does actually work okay. Again, it just changes the look of the ship completely, and for some weird reason, I get a bit of a Ferdinand's vibe from this thing. I don't know why. But anyway, let's move on. Let's have a look at Tail 4. So Tail 4, wow. Looking at that, I was expecting this to be a big section off here again. And it's just these 2 little wings here. That goes and, again, just makes the kind of little points on the back of the ship, just winds them off, joins them to the center mass. So again, it's just changing the way it looks. And this is the one that actually goes with the fins that we've got on the sides here. So it's kind of interesting. I'm not quite sure which one I prefer. I actually kind of like, I don't know. I think number 4 is the one that I do prefer out of all of these. So let's go and put that one on. And now what we're going to go and do is we're going to go and have a look and see how these things are affected by the different paint schemes. So we've got a good couple of paint schemes here. We've got, as always, the Black Friday, and 9 times out of 10, these things always look great with the Black Friday paint scheme. Because it's monotone, it's uniformly black, it just turns everything black, even bits that are usually grey on ships. So it basically recolours a greater amount of the ship's surface area than most other paint jobs do. Like these ones here. This is a little bit weird because it's multicolours, multi-tonal all over, and the pieces for the ship kits themselves are all one colour. But because this is like military colouring, and the colour that the wings are basically the base pack, the base kind of layer here, it doesn't go all that bad. In fact, it's not bad in the slightest. Going over here, it does seem to fit quite well with all of the camo packs. So if you've got the camo packs on there, it does kind of fit. Now, unfortunately, the pieces are not going to be following the camo lines themselves, but they are going to be a colour in said camo. So I'm not overly upset about this. I actually think it's quite nice. Now, the next one we're going to have a look at are the pirate paint jobs here. And basically, on the pirate ones, it's all just black. But again, it does kind of work. Now, if we move over to the orange one, it would be nice. It is a bit more noticeable with this one. because the accent colour is a lot lighter. It would be nice if part of this was in fact, so this side was orange, this side was black. That'd work a lot more, but again, that'd be a bit more fiddly to deal with. But it would be nice, but I'm not upset that it's not. Now, having a look down, we can see that it works quite well with all of these, really, but it's more noticeable with the lighter colours. So, yeah, it's not going bad. And then we've got basically the monotoned colours. We've got vibrant blue, vibrant green, and so on. And then we've got the vibrant red. So basically the single colour paint jobs are going to be the best ones for these. But it does look very nice with a lot of them. Now let's go and put this back onto the vibrant yellow that it was beforehand. And I've got to say that that does look quite nice. So this has basically been a look at the Anaconda ship kit. Now I've got to say I do kind of like this one. There's been some mixed responses to this one from the Elite Dangerous community, especially with a lot of the more recent ship kits, because a lot of people are saying that it looks like Frontier's spending less effort on these. Personally, I cannot see a lack of effort on these. Some of them, yes, I can agree that they don't quite... Some of the pieces don't quite fit the ships, and there is an annoying thing with the Viper Mark III ship kit where the utility mounts go and clip through one of the spoilers, which bugs me to no end. But that's a very minor niggle. But what do you guys think of this particular ship kit and the other ones? And also the way that I've gone and changed the way we're doing these, because you guys asked for a lot more external looks at the ship. We've gone and done that this time. What do you think of that? Do you think that potentially it might be an idea to go and revisit some of the ship kits that I've already covered and just look at them in a different way, the same way we did here? Let me know, as always, down in the comments. But as for now, that's going to be it for this video. Like the video if you've liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Neither of those good enough for you, that's what the comments are for. And I'd like to thank the member of the Wolfpack for loaning me their account to just have a look at this particular kit until I can eventually go and get my own Anaconda back. But I've been Commander Chaos Wolf from Sci-Fi Gaming. You guys, as always, have been epic. I will see you soon. And until next time, my fellow commanders, keep flying and stay shiny.